Sisu comes to us from the director of Rare Exports. During the last desperate days of World War II, a solitary prospector crosses paths with Nazis on a scorched earth retreat in northern Finland. When they steal his gold, they quickly discover that they have just tangled with no ordinary miner. I believe that I saw Sisu under the best possible circumstances, at least for my taste. A nearby theater had a midnight showing, and I hadn't even seen a trailer. All I knew was that there were Nazis in the film and that there was a guy who wasn't happy with them. I'm serious, that's all I knew. And I took my best friend to see it tonight. Going in with no expectations, not even knowing what it was about, has made me so excited to recommend this movie to you. If you guys haven't heard of this movie or don't know what it is, you have to go see it. It's a very fun experience in a theater and one of my favorite times at the movies with my buddy in recent years. The idea behind it being that there is this legend in Finland about a guy who might be immortal. He's very hard to kill. Now, people don't necessarily say he is immortal, but some people believe that he is. He's kind of like Batman. Everyone's terrified of this guy. And the people who don't know who he is, the characters look at them and are like, "You've never heard about this guy?" The story of this guy's endless perseverance and his inability to give up is spread throughout Finland. So when the Nazis encounter this guy near the end of World War II, and they have a little bit of a tussle with him, on this small moving convoy, the Nazis have captured some people from Finland. And these people know about the legend. And so they can spread it to the other Nazis, scaring them while also informing us. The coolest thing about this guy, though, is that he doesn't say anything. He just walks around trying to get this gold to a place, trying to get out of there, while also killing a bunch of Nazis. And it's incredibly satisfying and very gory. And he does so in consistently interesting ways and very fun ways. The types of sequences where you kind of just want to leap out of your seat with excitement because you just saw something crazy, if you're like me and you like this kind of stuff. This guy is like if the 1980s as a decade mated with the movie RRR. This guy consistently kills people in extremely fun ways to the point where it does push the bounds of credibility and realism, even more so than the recent John Wick movie. There's a scene in John Wick 4 where he falls like, I don't know how many stories, smashes against a vehicle, and then lands on the street and gets up. And I remember being like, okay. I love that movie, but still. This film takes that times 100. The things that this guy survives is hilarious, but it's kind of the point. The idea behind his legend is that this word Sisu, the film describes it as a word that cannot be translated, but that it essentially means white-knuckled grit and determination. The idea that you just won't give up. They don't say he's immortal, it's just that he won't give up. And so he's always going to win. I can imagine Lionsgate is pretty happy with this because John Wick 4 leaves things in a place where you're like, okay, well, let's see what they do with this. And if Lionsgate is looking for another action franchise featuring somebody who's very good at killing people in very entertaining ways, this could be it. Now, the world that he lives in is a little different from the world of John Wick. You kind of have to operate within some boundaries here since this film takes place in 1944. There's a lot of prequel possibilities. The film definitely adopts a 1970s sort of exploitation vibe. It's broken up into chapters. A lot of people will probably leave the theater talking about Quentin Tarantino. But the film has its own style and its own appeal. There are some very suspenseful sequences as well involving a minefield, which is one of my favorite scenes in the film, if not my favorite. But I think what impressed me the most about it is the commitment to the material being as sparse as it is. This person doesn't really talk, and you don't know that much about him. You just hear stories, and some of them might be true, and some of them might not be. I imagine in the screenplay stage, there was probably a temptation to flesh this guy out a little bit more. Maybe have some revenge elements going on. What if he lost a kid and all that stuff? And you get ideas of a past, but it is so brief. And it doesn't fully land on any one specific detail. And I find that remarkable because I still really cared. And it is the idea of this guy who just won't stop that makes the film work, I think, beyond just being an entertaining movie where a guy kills Nazis. That works on its own, but the film is propelled further by exploring this idea of how someone who just won't stop, if they're moving towards you, you're kind of screwed. I feel right now the same way I felt when I left The Raid for the first time. Now, The Raid is a better film, so please don't say that I am comparing them. I think The Raid is a better film. But when I left that movie, I had to tell people to go see it. It just had to be seen by people. And I really think the same about Sisu. I want people to go watch this movie. And as I said, it is very sparse, but I think that works in the film's favor. But it's just this idea of this little movie just appearing, materializing out of nowhere and being this exciting. And there was a surprising amount of people there tonight, even at a midnight showing. So yeah, go see it. It's great. Take your friends. Have fun. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.